from the new drone rules to the disinvestment of Air India to the overall health of the aviation sector given the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on the sector, there have been a lot of developments and highlights over these past couple of years as far as the aviation sector is concerned. To touch upon some of those issues, joining me today is the Ministry of Civil Aviation Secretary, Mr. Pradeep Kharola. Sir, thank you so much for speaking to India Today.
Thank you very much.
My first question obviously is of the most recent development, which is of course the airspace map going live on Digital Sky after the drone rules were introduced on the 25th of August. As far as the drone rules are concerned, since your new rules went live, what sort of a response have you seen from the sector?
Well, yes, you're right that the drone rules went live maybe slightly more than a month ago, and the first promise we made in the rules was that the first stipulation we made that within a month the digital sky map of the country, which would be used for drone operations and research and development, would be up and working. So that has been done. The response from the industry has been very, very good, and in fact the industry is quite upbeat about the drone rules and also the new policy of incentive which has been announced, that is the PLI policy.
Right.
While the drone rules provide the right atmosphere for this industry to for the drone industry to carry on research, design, development and manufacture, it provides the congenial atmosphere. The PLI scheme provides the required incentive for the manufacturers to come forward and take up the manufacture of drones. So both these measures have to be seen together. It's an integrated approach, and as a result of this integrated approach, we will see what we call is the drone revolution in India.
Right, you're talking about the drone revolution. Yourself, the minister has also spoken about making India a drone hub, a global drone hub by 2030. Why this incentivizing of the industry? What sort of prospects do you see as far as the growth of this sector is concerned?
Well, see, it is the manufacturing of drones is a very nascent industry, and it has to compete with the big suppliers, and the big suppliers are from other countries. Now, in this nascent stage, these drone manufacturers require some support to become competitive. And as I said that the drone policy provided the right atmosphere, this PLI policy provides the right incentive for them to enter the field of manufacturing in a big way and to become competitive. And gradually, as the volume increases, the number increases, their costs also come down, and then they emerge as a competitive production unit of drones in the world.
Right. So, I mean, when the lay person obviously is reading about the new drone rules and is reading about what are the prospects that lie ahead for this industry, they're reading of everything from, the supply of vaccines and medicines via drones to flying taxis. What would you want to tell them? What is the sort of, the prospect that lies ahead in terms of are flying taxis going to be possible? Are we going to see vaccines being delivered via drones now?
Well, yes, the drones open up immense possibilities. First and foremost, service deliveries and product deliveries in difficult and I would say difficult to access areas, which hitherto was happening but was rather difficult. That starts happening very, very easily now.
Right.
The common man living in these remote areas will straightway get these benefits, and supply of vaccines or medicines or other pharmaceutical products is one example of that. Not only that, a large number of tasks which were I would say high risk tasks. People had to climb towers, people had to climb buildings and all to do certain amounts of work, and with this they were exposed to large amount of risks. All these will be thing of the past, and it will be the drones working for the common man. The common man will be standing on the ground operating the drone, and the machine flies up and does these difficult tasks. Well, transportation is of course the major contribution of drones.
Right.
And yes, work on drone taxis has started.
Okay.
And well, what I would say is that first and foremost it will be the delivery of goods, performance of difficult tasks, and as taxis are slightly bigger drones, so our manufacturer will start with the smaller drones and the medium sized drones, and as they get confidence, as they get used to that scale of manufacture, the size of drones involved and all, then they move into the bigger drones, and air taxi is one such drone.
Right. In fact, taking off the air taxi subject itself, we were speaking to the founder, Yogesh Iyer of Finata Aero Mobility. I think they gave you a presentation also about hybrid flying cars. And he said the prototype should be available by 2023, the first quarter of 2023. I'm sure you're interacting with others as well from the industry. What are they telling you about the possibility of it? Obviously, it seems very futuristic in nature when we talk about it, but realistically, what can you tell our viewers?
Well, yes, drone taxi is I would say is a certainty. The question is when, and the way these models are being designed, the way the research is going on, that's going to happen fast. What we have to gear up on the government side, on the regulator side, is that even these have to be regulated. These are flying aircraft. Now, as you know, that an aircraft, apart from being flying, it has to be extremely safe. So we in government have to work on what type of rules we make, what type of regulations we make for these taxis which will be carrying human beings.
Are you working on that?
We have started the work on that, and that's where, and this work has to be with the manufacturers only, because it's new to us also. We are used to regulating helicopters and aircraft, and now it's a new area coming up, that regulating the drones. The rules provide for regulating of drones used for deliveries and photography and survey and all those things. As we evolve, our rules also will have to evolve to provide a safety, I would say, a safety regulatory framework for these machines which will even carry human beings. So it's an evolution of on the research side, on the development side, on the manufacturer side, and also on the regulation side. So all four move simultaneously and together.
Right. So speaking of the sector itself, the aviation sector, we do know that progressively you have seen the flying numbers grow up, in the sense there are more daily passengers that are flying now, since of course it's not pre-pandemic level obviously, but it's quite there. You have also now sort of removed much of the strictures on fare and capacity, but they still continue to be there. So when is it likely to happen that you're going to remove those caps, given that it's a juggling that you're doing while you want to, of course, give the industry the push that it needs to grow again? COVID cases are also going up. Again, we're looking at numbers which are quite worrisome.
Well, it has been a tightrope walk, and I think for near future also it will going to be a tightrope walk. It's basically it's balancing of various interests. We have to take care of the health of the people also. Means yes, COVID is there, and we should not do anything which would even remotely means it would adversely impact the control of COVID. That's number one. So our protocols, the health protocols, are still in place, and they are being followed, and they are being followed rigorously. And they have done fairly well in the last 1.5 years. At the same time, the demand for travel also is increasing.
Right.
But it's a steady but a slow increase in demand. So, and we have to cater to this demand also. And well, this demand cannot be suppressed. So we are monitoring the situation very closely. The demand, the forward bookings are being monitored by the ministry, and looking at the demand as to how the demand will be, we are trying to adjust the supply also. Not only that, the fare bands, they do continue, but in the last version we have made a significant change. The significant change is that we have said that hitherto we used to block the fare bands would be applicable for a period of 30 days from today. Now we have come down to 15 days. Now and gradually, if we go on reducing this period, 15 days, 14 days, 13 days, 12 days, 10 days, a day would come, we'll say that fare bands will not be applicable.